Hey everybody, Jay Wade here with another episode of Speaking of Schmoedown, a sports talk show devoted to the movie trivia Schmoedown. I will be completely real with you. I am a little bit stressed right now. I'm going to calm down here as we get started. It's been an amazing thing planning this, and I'm just so excited for it that I want it to go very well. And I'm sure it will. And I've got great people here as usual with me. Our Schmoedown analyst, we've got Double D in the house. How you doing, bud?
Yeah, it's been like a photo finish just trying to get here. But you know what? I'm happy to be here, and I'm happy to watch some Schmoedown later today.
Yeah, I can't imagine how all the people, the hundreds and hundreds of fans and competitors and personalities in LA right now, I can't imagine how they feel, Dan, because they're all scrambling to their phones or their tablets, their devices. I got to watch Speaking of Schmoedown, but I've got to do this expo, and I've got to meet everybody. So I get it, man. It's very cool. And we've got Kiwi Jess here again. How you doing?
I'm good. Morning night, guys.
Yeah, this is like your third show in a row or something on here, isn't it?
Yeah, I enjoy it though. I like being popular.
Say record for me.
It's nice. It's a good feeling.
Say record.
Ricker.
All right. Bad
There
batch
you go.
there.
Starting it off.
We've also got Dean Lewis here. How you doing, Dean?
Live from the El Capitan Theatre, Los Angeles, California. How you doing? I'm not, but I'm glad to be here.
We're glad to have you, man. You and I were talking about spectacular speculations the other day, which was something you said. And I was like, well, we'll have to have Dean on and talk about that a little bit. So welcome to the show, Taco.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad, man. Not too bad.
I had a whole intro planned, and then I went with, hey, how's it going, man, instead. So
Keep it short.
Crumbled under pressure.
my coffee hasn't kicked in yet. Jay, don't be stressed. Just know that after this, I will give you a big bear hug and tell you how awesome you are. All right?
Oh,
just fly to.
there
you go.
Wow. There's some bear in that hug.
Yeah,
I know, right?
Your name's right next to bear in the dictionary.
B right next to J? That's weird. Carry on.
We're going to kick it off with the speculation. I'm interested in hearing from Dean. You're not here very often, which we're going to rectify that next season. I'm going to have you on a little bit more. What are you thinking about this spectacular? Just give me your overall thoughts before we get into any specific match or anything.
Oh man, not even any notes to work on. All right, that's fine. Yeah, no, it's a weird one. We've got a pretty good mix of like rookies and like semi-new people, in kind of like their second season. We've got some bets. It's like a really well-rounded card. So I'm pretty excited, and maybe we get an extra match that we don't know about yet, which that'd be the first time we've had that if it happens. I'm not getting my hopes up.
It's happened once before, back when Sam Levine.
That was a collision.
So yes, that did happen before, but I don't think it's going to happen.
I think it might.
That was collision. It doesn't count.
No, yeah.
It counts.
Dan's like, oh well, yeah, I guess you're right. Dan,
I thought it was spectacular, but no, he's right about collision.
What do you think overall about Spectacular today? You got any predictions or anything like that you think might happen?
I think we'll discuss that when I get into my segment, because basically the segment is all the different scenarios that could happen. So I think we'll reserve my answer for my segment.
Excellent.
He's got math. He's got math.
Yeah, he's got math on his side.
I like some good math.
What are you thinking about this Spectacular?
I'm so excited. I know, it's my first Spectacular. I'm super duper excited. I'm just happy to be here in general, but of course I've got my own picks going into this. I like to think they're well informed, but they're definitely not biased.
Not at all.
No, not at all.
No,
not at all. But I'm just excited to enjoy my first ever Spectacular.
I want to see you justify why you have Griffin Newman winning the Inner Geekdom. I don't know how you think he's going to do that.
I mean, look, if anyone could do it, it'd be him.
Well, Taco, what are your overall thoughts?
I think this is one of the best and oddest cards we've ever had. It doesn't have a lot of that big name star power except for the exposition match, but it's like one of our first ever spectaculars that isn't headlined by a Ben Bateman or a Dan Merrell or a Ethan Irwin or something like that. And I'm glad. I'm glad that we're seeing this new talent, sophomore year rookies, like just owning the space. And I think this is one of the closest. Almost every one of these matches is a pick 'em, and that's awesome. I can't wait. I think it's great. So
yeah.
Can I just piggyback off of something Taco said, because
that's
I think
actually
it's
how
really,
the show works. Yeah,
it's really great. Thank you for handing it over back to me. Football. No, but it's really great that we've got loads of rookies in here, but nobody's going into this thinking like, oh man, I kind of feel like underwhelmed or like shortchanged. It's like not so many of the big names. So I just think that's a really good testament to the quality of the people in the rookie class this year. That's all I wanted to say. Back to you, Jay. What do you think?
Well, I think we're going to jump into the individual matches. But before we do that, real quick, I do want to say that we are 16 subs away from 800. So everyone who's watching, if you've not already subscribed, please do so. That would be amazing. I know 1,000 by the end of the year is a long shot, but I think we can hit 1,000 by the end of January. That's my goal.
Oh,
so
we'll hit it long before then.
I hope so, man. It's looking good. So thank you all for the support there. But yeah, let's get into this. Let's start with the Star Wars match. We've got Harper defending the title against Nikki Demolanta. And I'm Thomas Harper all the way. I don't think anyone can stop him this year. Maybe next year, but not this year. Dan?
Yeah, I think Thomas has got this, but I'm not going to be surprised if Nikki manages to pull a lead in by the speed round, because if that happens, I think she's going to win. I'm going to be on the edge of my seat, and I think we're going to hear, and your new champion is Nikki Demolanta in that scenario. But I'm not going to be surprised. But again, I do think Thomas Harper is going to pull the win.
I think so too. And yeah, Nikki was very, very impressive in that. Was it a speed round? What would you call that technically?
That would be the fast money round.
Fast money. She was very impressive in that. And I'll be honest, even that gave me a little bit of concern for Harper in the speed round coming up. But yes, Kiwi. I'm sorry. I was looking at Taco and I got lost in his eyes. I mean, there are
to many people, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, there are 4 of them to get lost into. So
hell yeah, there are. Yeah,
well,
you like being outnumbered that much too.
3 of us twice. That's what 6, 10.
No, we got double B mathing. Oh no!
I don't have my glasses. I'm sorry. I let this side down.
What are your thoughts on this Star Wars match, Jess?
As much as I'd like to see Nikki take it out, I just think Harper's laser focused. It's going to be Nikki's first live match, which has me a little bit concerned that potentially those nerves might. Whereas I know Harper has his background in being a lawyer, so he's used to that real high stress situation of performing under pressure, and we haven't really seen Nick. I know that the matches themselves are stressful, I get that, but I think it's different sitting in the comfort of your own home with a screen in between you, as opposed to being surrounded by people and really feeling the gravity of that match. And I don't know how she's going to potentially deal under that pressure. And whereas I know Harper he's not going to take this lightly. If he's going to win, he wants to win the best that he can. He's not going to go, I'll just pass through.
Yeah. That just made me think of something I've never asked the man, but I will next time I talk to him. I wonder if he's ever lost a case. I mean, you would think that surely he has to have, but you never know, man. Maybe he's one of those superstar lawyers that I need to have in my back pocket. So,
wouldn't surprise me.
I don't think he's not even allowed to talk about his cases. It's off cam, maybe, but on cam, you might not get an answer, bro.
No, I wouldn't ask him.
You can talk about cases.
So about the murder investigation, Tom, how's it going? Yeah.
I just don't know.
I just wanted to know if he's ever lost one. I don't care what the cases are. But Taco, what do you think about this Star Wars match? You think the champ's going to defend that title, or you think we're going to have a new champ going into next season?
Well, he's falling back on movie trivia, so apparently it's not going too good. I'm kidding. No, I am probably the only person I know who's got Nikki going in, and the reason I know that the stress of it being a live event might get to her, so if like that is a possibility, I'm not gonna take that out because I know that she feels a lot of the anxiety when she plays, but I also feel like that can fuel somebody and make them play even better. Like I always say, I thrive in chaos, and I work a lot better when everything's burning around me, and maybe that works for her, but also she's been the underdog the entire time. I'm glad that the polls are the other way around because that makes me think she's going to win because the polls have always been that way. And there is just something special. I feel like this is a miracle run for her. And I don't think that Harper's, if he's going to lose, it's not going to be a bad loss by any means. And I think he's going to have the belt, next year too. Like he's a champion and he's not going anywhere. But this does make me feel like the Mara Canopic run.
Hi, Ben.
Just this amazing special run. And hi, Ben. But.
Yeah, hi, Ben. Ben's a great guy. I like Ben. I kind of like Soda.
Is Soda insulting us? I'm so confused.
No, he's making a Jay and Silent Bob labia joke.
Oh, I thought he was making fun of us. So anyway, I love Soda, especially Mountain Dew. Dean, what do you think of who's going to come away with this title at the end of this match?
I think it's weird that we're starting with this one actually, because I think this is the hardest match to predict out of the whole card. We've seen some weird stuff with Star Wars and the winners of the tournaments and like the kind of cooldown periods in between. And like I think a lot of the times, like the length of the gap between like when the tournament finishes and when the spectacular is has had an impact. Like we saw Ace, was that last year or was that year before? What is time? But he had like a nice long period. Well, it wasn't nice because he lost. But we've seen that happen. But then also we've seen the flip side where like Alex Damon has said that he had too long in between matches and he had too long to prepare. He overcrammed and it just burnt him out. So it's like I say, tough to call, but I want to pick Nikki. I really do. But as we're going to say about probably all of these, it's just like comes down to the speed round, I guess. But then she's living with Demolanta. But did Demolanta even did Andrew Demolanta even do the actual speed round?
Yeah,
I think they did
this year. Yeah, they did. Well, not the buzzers, but the fast money round.
Yeah, but not the actual buzzer round is what I'm saying.
No, he didn't.
So there's not been a lot of buzzer rounds going on in the Demolanta household. That's not an innuendo. But
you have to imagine that Sam Levine has had the buzzer round plenty of times. So I'm sure that they've been and so is Rachel Cushing. So having those two powerhouses help Nikki, that could actually have an advantage. Only Riley has the advantage on the den with the buzzer round with Riley. So I think that if I'm picking a bet, I think Nikki has a good chance with those two managers.
My final thought on this real quick, I don't think Sam Levine's that good of a manager.
Oh, dude, okay, you're not saying anything else. We got about 5 minutes here to go through the rest of these matches, so let's
that's going to be the quickest way to do it. Way.
Let's go ahead right now and just give our picks, and then whatever time we have left, we'll talk a little bit about them. But for Parker versus Kalinowski, I'm gonna have to go with. I hate to say it, but I'm gonna have to go with the momentum of Kalinowski on this one. Double D, what are you thinking?
I'm going with Parker. I think he has the fire and he wants it.
All right, Jess.
A little bit torn, but I had to go with Kalinowski. I had to.
Taco?
Yeah, exactly what you said. It kills me because, I'm wearing the Dungeon shirt and I love Parker, but holy crap, does Kalinowski look good right now.
Yeah. Dean, who are you picking?
Head says Parker, but I want Kalinowski. I'm not a Parker stan. I'd like to see Kalinowski put him into the dirt, and he's been on a tear, and hopefully it's more the first match against Schmetz and less.
I thought we kicked this guy out. Why do we let him back in?
I'm considering it again, but
Jesus.
This is one of the reasons I like Dean. Okay, guys.
The only one.
Shazam versus King Arthur for the team's title match. I'm going to have to go with King Arthur here, and I'm also going to reveal my pick for Marisol versus Nooms because I think that Griffin Nooms is going to walk away double belted today.
Yes.
So
yes.
I'm picking King Arthur over Shazam. Dan, what do you got? Double D.
Okay, Jay, Kiwi, I know you're gonna hate me for this, but I think Shazam is going to win, but I think Griffin Newman is going to take the singles belt. So I'm at least meeting you halfway.
Yep, I fully agree with the Go Exchange Go. Not you, Dan. Sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going to. Well, you agree with me that you agree with
pull
Dan.
the rug out of you from under you. You can't. It's like it's Griffey. That's the thing. Is like I am an absolute stan of him. I'm not even like quiet about it. I think they're going to take it out. I think it's time. I think it's time for Shazam to be just taken down, just a peg or two.
Pretty big talk for a newbie who's only been into the Schmoedown for a couple months. I like
and
it.
I will not shut up about it. If my predictions are right, best believe, especially Taco out of any of you guys, is never going to hear me shut up about it. And Frenchie.
We'll be teaming up to drive these rest of the teams mad.
We're gonna get kicked off our own channel. We'll get kicked off our own channel.
Good luck with that. We'll do a civil war. But one thing I realized with Kiwi is just because she's new at it does not mean she's not confident in her fucking assessments. And boy, is she confident in her shit. So let's go exchange and let's drive them crazy, Kiwi.
He never has my back. He never has my back like he has her back.
I have your back, you know.
Just be. That's the only advice I can give you is just be better.
Way around. Oh, there we go. Can I answer the question?
Yes, please, Taco.
All right, cool. I got Shazam. I think that they're the Andre the Giant. They're just so unbeatable. They're just monsters. And people are like, oh, well, let them hand over. No, they got to solidify they're the best team of all time first, and then they can hand over the belt. So.
Oh yeah. Dean, who you got walking away with this team's title?
I find it really hard to believe that King Arthur are going to take this. I would love to see it because I'm not the biggest Shazam fan. I mean, they're great and they basically are the best team ever. But yeah, I just think King Khan, I mean, everyone's saying it, man. That's the weak link. And King Khan on a bad day is worse than what we've seen like Brendan Meyer on a bad day. And, he's had some. But yeah, so Shazam, I think Griffey's taken the singles. I think statistically, and Dan could probably confirm this, I think he's played much better in just as many matches as Marisol did last year in both teams and singles. I think he's probably got more questions right, more higher accuracy. So, sorry, Marisol, but I think Griffey's going to pull the upset.
Well, we've got Dean and my call for the singles title. Dan, who you got walking away with this?
With the singles, well, I said Griffin Newman. I think as much as I want Marisol, I think Griffin Newman is playing stronger this season. And I don't think that, well, I'll just say that. I'm not going to go too much because I know we're going weird. So.
Kiwi, who you got for this? Well, I know who you got between Marisol and Newman. Just say it then.
Just Griffey all the way.
Taco, what do you got for
Griffey?
I think this is an extremely, extremely close, and it's really hard to call. It like tears me up. I'm so close to 50-50. But last night on our channel, the Fighting Frenchman kind of convinced me on Griffey. So I'm at like 51.1% on Griffey.
Appreciate you, Frenchie.
That still hurts. Or like 50.1. That's still. I want Marisol to win. I do, but Griffey's just this much got the edge.
I'm the same boat as you, Taco.
I would be so happy that either way.
All right, Taco. Don't make me slap you through the freaking computer, dude.
Oh, fucking do it.
I love you, man. And I love you, man. Never mind. I'll save the other part for after we're not on the air. Dean, Dean, who you got walking away with this one here?
Out of who? What? Griffey and Marisol?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. Roka and Merle. Real quick, just say who you think's going to win.
Roka's been the GOAT from the get-go, and I will not change
All right, and I completely agree with Dean. Without Dan Roca, without
The fusion.
without John Roca and the Outlaw, the Schmoedown would not be what it is today. Double D, who do you got coming away as the GOAT?
I think it's going to be Dan. I just think it's Dan.
Ooh.
Kiwi, who do you got?
Legacy doesn't matter to me. I'm new, so I'm going with Merle.
All right, and Taco.
I got the angry outlaw is gonna just go in there and just pound, taking the pound town. That's what's gonna happen.
Yep. See, my analogy was that the outlaw was gonna win that match and ride off into the sunset, leaving Dan sitting on a horse with a noose around his neck under a tree. But I was like, that, people might take that visual too. They might not make the connection to Western movies and the outlaw. But, we do have sexy numbers coming up right now. We've got AA Ron that will be joining Double D for this segment. Really looking forward to this.
I'm going to talk dirty to you for a second. Math.
All right. What do you got for us this week, Dan?
All right. Well, Aaron, thank you for joining me today. And today we are going to be discussing all the different scenarios of who could actually win the faction wars. And I came up with this idea because I started a forecast to answer this question: who will win the faction wars? But for everyone to catch up, let's show where everyone stands. There we go. So with the Finstock Exchange, they're in first place at 93 points. Corruption's in second place with 83 points. The Quirky Mercs is in third place with 81 points. And the Dungeon is in fourth place with 76 points. Now, we're not going to consider the Stars and Swag because they're not even in Spectacular. And we're not going to consider the Den and the Usual Suspects because the Star Wars match will not affect any of the rankings whatsoever. So, Aaron, who do you think out of these four will win the faction wars?
I mean, historically, as we've seen, you can never count Corruption out of a comeback, but going into it with a 10-point lead, it's hard to bet against the Finstock Exchange right now.
All right, so I agree with you. So let's take a look at the first scenario in which all the champions defend the belts. So that's the Quirky Mercs and Corruption defending the belts. This will end up being a Corruption win where they're at least at 105 points. And of course, that shatters everyone. They caught up to the Finstock Exchange and they just took it even further. They denied Griffin Newman a double belted champion. Sorry, Kiwi. Sorry, J-Wade, but that's just this one scenario. The next scenario, we have King Arthur wins, but Corruption defends both belts. So Griffin Newman does have at least one title belt. This will ultimately be a Corruption win because they would have actually defended both belts. And even if you want to factor in TKO and knockout points, King Arthur let's say King Arthur knocks out Shazam, even though it may be unlikely, they'll still be at 104 and Corruption will still be ahead. So this will be a definite Corruption win. The next scenario is Shazam wins and Marisol defends the belts, but Robert wins Inner Geekdom. This is a photo finish win for Corruption because obviously at 94 points, they're really close to where Corruption is. And if Robert Parker manages to knock out Kalinowski, this might actually be a Finstock Exchange win. So you could have Shazam winning, Marisol winning, and Robert winning, but if Robert wins by knockout, this will be a Finstock Exchange win. So it's a scenario where both factions could potentially win, given the specific details. Now, this scenario, this is a very special one. So Shazam wins by KO, Marisol just wins, and Robert Parker wins by KO. Aaron, who do you think is going to win in this scenario?
I think if this somehow magically happens, I think this is the only scenario in which the Quirky Mercs have a chance to win because the chips would fall their way completely.
I thought so too. In fact, I had said this on multiple channels that this was the only scenario in which the Quirky Mercs could win because of their record. Because if they tie, because as you can see, the Quirky Mercs and Corruption ties, and then we learned that the tiebreaker rule is based on their record that will decide the tie. But here's the record if this scenario happens to Corruption and Quirky Mercs. Corruption will be at 23 wins, 22 losses. Quirky Mercs is at 22 wins, 20 losses. Now, of course, I had some minor miscalculations based on this record, so that's why I was wrong initially. But no, this will actually be a Corruption win, interestingly enough. But again, if I'm wrong because I'm not a big sports guy, call me out on it but this is how the record is, and this is how the rule will play out. So whoever wins this in this scenario, whoever has the better record in this scenario will win in this scenario. But let's move on to some of the Finstock Exchange wins. If I can. So we got King Arthur and Robert Parker winning the belts, but Marisol defends the singles belts. This will be a Finstock Exchange win because they will push their 10-point lead into a 9-point lead because they will basically gain a belt while Corruption still has a belt. So this will be a definite win for the Finstock Exchange. The next scenario is Shazam and Mike defend the belt, but Griffin Newman wins the singles. This will also be a Finstock Exchange win, similarly to what we've said before. And the other scenario is Shazam defends, Griffin Newman wins the singles, but Robert Parker wins IG. This is also another definite Finstock Exchange win. And already we're at Finstock 5 scenarios, Corruption at 4 scenarios. So already Finstock Exchange has more of a chance to win. And this is how Corruption was last season because Corruption didn't even need to win belts. They just needed Alex Damon to keep his belt in order for Corruption to win the Faction Wars, which ended up happening. And that's how I was able to know who was going to win. But let's look at the one final scenario that I think everyone is more excited about. Griffin Newman becomes a double belted champion. In this scenario, it doesn't matter who wins IG because Finstock Exchange will be at 113 at the bare minimum, and everyone else would be at 94 or 86. So, Aaron, which one of these scenarios do you think is going to win do you agree with?
I wholeheartedly believe that Shazam are going to defend and that Robert is going to beat Mike. So I think no matter what, it's going to come down to the final match. And despite the opinions of the rest of the panel, sorry guys, I'll be gone after this segment. I'm actually going to go with Marisol because I think it's been a long time since we've had somebody defend at Spectacular, and I think that will drive her to want to be that person.
Yeah, it's good. I will even admit that I do think Griffin Newman is going to win this belt, but Marisol's not going to give him a easy breeze. She's going to come in wholeheartedly because ultimately Corruption needs that belt in order to win. In most of the scenarios, it's like singles belt needs to be defended. Singles belt needs to be defended. So I think that she's going to want to win this for Corruption. So I feel that that's going to give her the edge to win, but to put up a fight, I ultimately think that Griffin Newman is going to win. So it's going to be interesting. And I think that's part of the reason why it's going to be the very last match because people are going to be on their edge waiting to see what happens. But I think we may have Roxy Stryer back on with us. Nope, I don't think Roxy Stryer is on the phone, but I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think Roxy Stryer back on the phone. Is Roxy here? Roxy isn't here?
Bro, you're up. You still got 5 minutes. You know that, right?
Yeah, but
Sorry. Yeah, and also that's a little snafu. That's good for you guys. I had said, hey, I forgot my notes on the other computer. I was just running back with the notes for the next segment.
I know, that's why I was trying to delay as possible.
That's what we call the live stream magic, everybody. Thank you, Dan, very much for that. Ron, thank you very much for joining us, and enjoy the spectacular today, sir.
Thank you. Enjoy the show, guys.
We're going to go ahead and Frenchie, you can come on for this too, because we're going to discuss the ballots. What we did was I went ahead and sent out to everyone, and you want to bring Kiwi up here too?
Yeah. No Daco? Fuck Daco?
Yeah, no, don't bring him on.
Taco too. What we did was I sent everyone a list of the Schmoedown Award categories and had everyone fill it out. Now I know that we filled these out before Spectacular actually happened, so a lot of these might change, but
yeah.
I still wanted to do this. I thought it'd be fun. Again, apologize. That was my fault for not being prepared with this. I'm downloading it right now so I can look at it.
Doing it live.
Doing it live. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
That's why I have the 5-minute buffer for these hiccups.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go, guys.
These guys are giving me a nervous breakdown one day.
That's why we do no structure on our show.
Please
so
do it on stream.
If there's
It'll
structure,
go viral.
It's a ruin.
I know this is probably the least structured this show has ever been, but it's
oh
okay.
god, we had worse.
Yeah, we have.
The black
Especially if you look at our first episode.
Hey, there's still time. Give me a minute.
Okay, guys. I'm just gonna go through in order the categories that we did here. If it was unanimous, then we're not going to talk about it. Some of them we will talk about, some of them we won't, and I will let you know which ones we do and don't. First with the Yodi Award, it was unanimous, John Roca, and well deserved. I do believe so. Player of the Year, that was a landslide. Griffin Newman with 3 votes to Marisol with 1. I know Frenchie he was wondering what, isn't that the one you were wondering why it wasn't unanimous? There was one of them you were like, why isn't that unanimous?
Moment of the year. Moment of the year.
Moment of the year is the one. Okay. Nobody has any objections to that, obviously. That's a landslide there. Singles player of the year, we've got Marisol Mckee with 2 votes, Griffin Newman with 2 votes, and Irwin with 1. So let's talk about this one here since we've got a tie for it. Frenchie, why don't you tell us who you voted for and why you think?
I have to remember, but by logic, it's Newms. This is not cigarette, people. That being said, definitely Newms. Irwin, I don't know. Look, I don't know who voted for Irwin. He was good, but he didn't stand out that much. I don't know which idiot voted for him. But
Can
that
you
being
remove me,
said,
please? I can't remove myself. I don't know.
Okay, so that's why I said which idiot, because I saw the expression in your face.
Yeah. No, keep going. No, go ahead.
I want to hear him defend this.
Yeah, I know. He can't. He really can't.
I can, but it's not my time. It's your time. Go.
But
Go. Defend it.
Yeah, defend it, motherfucker.
Okay. Well, turns out there is actually time in the season before the fucking tournaments that everybody else seems to forget about, right? He's a fucking amazing player. He did so good at the beginning of the year, but just because he didn't fucking make a run, he's not playing spectacular. Everyone's like,
but player of the year is about the runs. It's about
it's
not
singles
just the
player of the year, and he went.
But no, I'm
Newman-
okay.
Newman
Okay.
is-
Who? This is my comment to you. Who? As a newbie, how can he beat? How can he?
Because you only watched the last 3 months, Jess. Some of us have been watching.
No, I went back, and here is the thing: is at the end of the day, I'm still going. Who? I'm sorry. Who?
Ooh.
Why have you put him forward?
He's a freaking monster, and he played so
he
good.
is a monster, but Newman has been a
I
monster
have
since the
Ethan
beginning
Irwin
to end.
on my fantasy league. I didn't even vote for Ethan Irwin because I voted for Griffin Newman because
says a lot.
he's had a better run.
Yeah, probably. Maybe I just knew everyone else would vote for Griffey, so I thought I could vote for whoever the fuck
I have to
wanted.
be the contrarian, of course.
I knew that all these are going to be decided before my vote gets cast, so I kind of just cast with my heart and not numbers like freaking. All right, I wasn't biased like these two, and I didn't use nothing but
I didn't use
old math
numbers
like
either. I
double
went
D.
with what I logically went with.
It's
Yeah,
not
okay,
biased.
okay.
It's not biased if it makes sense. I'm just saying.
Okay. We're going to move on to the next one, but before we do, I'm going to give my logic, which I feel is sound logic, as to why I can at least accept a tie between Marisol and Griffin Newman. One, because Marisol is the title holder, and two, because Griffin Newman is playing her for it. For Team of the Year, we had a landslide. Shazam with 4 votes, King Arthur with 1. I
Who do you reckon voted for King
understand
Arthur?
that personally, but okay.
It was me. I voted for Arthur.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, was it?
No,
No,
fuck no.
no, it definitely wasn't. It was,
No.
it was
I'm
me.
looking.
Okay. Inner Geekdom Player of the Year. We Kalinowski with 3 votes and Parker with 2.
Wow.
So, Dan, what do you think about this one? This was a close one.
Well, considering that not many people have actually defended the IG belt in a long time, only Chandru did it before, and then Mike does it twice. So I
Yep.
feel that has some merit. But Robert Parker has actually had a run, and I can't fault for voting for Parker as well. But I will say that Mike, I did vote for Mike because he's defended it twice. He got it and then defended it twice.
Fair. Jess, what are your thoughts on this one?
I just went with Kalinowski. One, because I really like a heel. I think it's. I'm not going to say that choice was incredibly informed because I don't really have the biggest, I don't know, emotions when it comes to that match. I'm like, either way, I'm going to be happy. But I think Mike's on a roll, and I was like, well, if he takes out IG, then yeah, and I have him going into it as the winner. So
yeah, very fair. Taco, you have any
did
comments on this one?
Who did I vote for? I have no. Well, let's
I mean, hold on. Forgive me, everyone at home. Forgive me, everyone at home, for just assuming that people would know who they voted for.
Considering that you didn't know
no,
this morning that Parker
talking.
was in dungeon, I really think that maybe.
Yeah, I
you
forgot
voted
that
for
Parker.
Mike.
I was like, man, I'm gonna wear my dungeon shirt even though there isn't a dungeon
He
person.
was telling
And
me,
she's
he's like, there's no
"Fucking
dungeon
Parker."
person in Spectacular. I'm like, did I get this wrong? How do I know this better than you do? What is going on here?
Because you're
Dude,
smarter.
I'm a lovable idiot, man. What can I do? Sorry. Wait for a second. Jay, are you flirting with me?
No, no, but Kiwi was flirting with me that one time, and it was the most glorious night of my life.
Shit.
Moving on here to the Star Wars Player of the
What
Year.
about my opinion? No one wants to know my opinion, for fuck's sakes.
Apparently not.
I think I got Kalinowski.
You're a Parker still.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's not because I'm less of a Parker shirt this year. Like the last year, I was really high on him. This year, I was a bit less. I still voted for Parker because for me, it was the obvious choice. Because I'm tired of Kalinowski. He's getting old to me. I found him interesting at first, but I find there's no evolution to his character. He's up and down depending on the moments of the season. I just want to see someone else dominate. Like Shanju for me is one of the good ones, but at the same time, it's a letdown season, so I couldn't vote for him. Parker is getting better character-wise and performance-wise. KO, it's the same shtick, same stuff, same performances since every time, and I honestly think he needs to change.
That's fair. I would love to see Parker come away with the title, and I would love to see him come away with that award. But an overall Kalinowski season so far, at least until we find out what happens tonight, I feel Kalinowski's season overall has been stronger. So,
and I think that's who I voted for. Yeah, I think I did have Kalinowski on that, and I stand by it. He didn't only have a good run at the end of the year; he had a good season. Period.
I think I thought I saw you cry. That's me in the corner. Dude, that's me in the spotlight.
Are you losing something right now?
He's doing lyrics, man.
I know, and I finished them.
I said religion. Something? You just said losing something. So
I know. I was playing off. It's improv, man. You always pitch back.
Oh, you're doing a bit. Oh, okay.
God, you guys all suck. I love that song, by the way.
Yeah, it is good. Star Wars Player of the Year. This one was close too. We had Harper with 3 votes, and Andrew Demolanta with 2 votes. I'm definitely on the Harper side here of this one. Who voted? And this is not calling anyone out, but who voted for Alex Demolanta and why? Dan, why?
Okay,
I probably know why.
Number 1, Andrew defeated Alex not once but twice, and this was at a time when Alex thought he was going to be the Star Wars champion for the end of time. Not only did he beat it, but he took him both those matches, that first match. He was perfect. They both were perfect, and it was just a slip up and sudden death. So for that reason alone, I have to give Andrew, and he just kept winning. He won again, and then he won against Laura, and obviously Thomas Harper. It was a close match. So I say that Player of the Year has to go to Andrew because he defeated the one person that we thought was unbeatable.
Well, let me piggyback and ask you a follow-up then. If Nikki were to win the title today, would you still have Andrew as Player of the Year, or would that change it to Nikki?
I would be like 51-49 on that, because I honestly, I would. No, actually, I changed that. I would say Nikki, because no one thought. I didn't even think Nikki was going to be in Spectacular. So I would probably lean more towards Nikki than Andrew, but I would have.
So you'd give it to her based on the fact that she was an underdog, as opposed to her earning it.
No, jeez.
She earned it as an underdog.
That's it as it is.
It's
No, that's
just for me, like, you're giving her it just because no one thought she would ever get to Spectacular versus people that have proven themselves in matches. I'm sorry, but
I mean,
for me, it sounds like you're giving her the charity award as opposed to being like, wow, she's.
Well, I mean, okay. I mean, I guess that, yeah, I am saying that.
He's going all of his math notes, calculating.
But if he wins it, then yeah, it's a different.
I think Finstock's turning me into a heel. I'm sorry.
You are already a heel. It's just bringing it out, Jess.
Yeah, probably true. Yeah.
But for me, Harper, look, I love Demi. I love Demalanta. They are both really good players, and Demi especially is a surprise. But Harper, for me, again, changed the division. As Alex changed the division and how you have to approach this unbeatable person, for me, strategically, and the way the game is being studied and the use of whiteboard and everything, and his approach, just as a lawyer, so how he approaches the game in certain things, for me, changes everything. And for me, that is alone deserving of Player of the Year. But now with the undefeated streak and champion and everything, it's undeniable. He has to be the Star Wars Player of the Year.
Taco, you disagree?
Yes. yes.
Please tell us why.
Check that. Well, again, before Collision, before half of the year, we had Andrew Demolanta came out and beat the most unbeatable Star Wars player of all time with 51 fucking points. He had played the best match probably ever. I'm pretty sure I put it as my match of the year. It was amazing. And then he defended it. Go ahead, Double D.
Yeah, another point. That 51-50 in Star Wars will never be beaten. So that's another.
And then he defended it against when Damon played him. He played another amazing bloody match. And then he beat Laura Kelly. 3 matches. Those 3 matches, I think, are some of the biggest, most important fucking wins ever in the Star Wars division, and you're not going to turn me around. Harper, give it to him next year. Give Harper next year. It's his year next year. It's Andrew Demolanta's year this year.
Give me a second. I'm going to switch pods to actual nicotine pods because you're stressing me out.
Good.
Hold on though. Hold on. Before we move on to the next one, let's just. I'm gonna redo what Taco just said. Give Harper it next season.
Yeah.
So what, you don't give a shit about what people do in the seasons and their performances?
No, I'm saying next season is his year.
No, hold on. You said give it to him next season. So what if he has a shit season next season? What if he doesn't play at all next season? You're just going to give it to him next season? Blind?
What if no one thinks he's going to win it, so we just give it to him at the end because he wins the match?
You're fucking nuts, Taco. I love you, but you're nuts. We're moving on to Rookie of the Year. We all were in agreement on, and you're muted, which is great. We were all in agreement on Rookie of the Year
You have to mute me to win an argument, you fucking whiny.
I muted you because I wanted him to win the argument, so don't even blame him.
Yeah, I know. It's fucking it's broken here. It's unfair. As you guys play with mixed deck, stack decks.
Okay, Taco, I'll let you take this one away. Rookie of the Year, we all agreed it was Griffin Newman, so please tell us why we're wrong.
No, give it to him next year.
All right.
Yeah, when he's not a rookie anymore. No, fuck you. I'm a little mad about that. No, I made a really good point, and then you grabbed just one little comment.
Your point is not the only good point. I get like the whole beginning of the season, etc.
He played the two most important Star Wars matches ever.
Then he won them. Then he lost. And Harper's been dominating.
You can't win all. Yes,
but he's never had to play Alex Demon in his prime.
But guys, like
I don't know. I don't know about your short memories, and I think that Harper. What I mean is, let Andrew have this season.
You had time to argue. Harper has been a phenomenon before he even got drafted. The Finstock Exchange wanted to get him.
He's in his rookie year as well.
Then got right, so they had to go
purple Kool-Aid, or what kind of Kool-Aid was that you drank so much?
No, it's what he gave off. First of all, his presence, but also his study regimen, and the way he approached the game. And it wasn't just all talk. He backed it up and been performing since day one, and that's on his rookie season. You add the rookie season element to his performance and his star power, you got Star Wars Player of the Year. Shut the fuck up.
I love you both. And I'm not arguing against your argument. I'm just arguing against the whole thing like hey, let's give Tom Brady quarterback of the year next season, even though we don't know how well he's going to play. That's what I
Let's give Michael Jordan another NBA ring.
The point I made by give it to him next year is if he earns it next year, but I'm saying this was Andrew's season. Harper, definitely it will be his season next year. Yeah. He's posed to take it. Let him have his time. He'll have his time. I'm saying I'm not taking it away from Harper because Harper's going to have his time. I don't want to diminish how amazing Harper is.
Hey, seriously, stop. I love you guys. That's it. We're moving on past that one. And also, I don't believe in participation trophies around here.
Oh, my God. Not my point at all.
Thank you.
I'm just picking on you, Taco. I'm sorry, dude.
It's real easy to do, though.
It is.
I'm sorry.
If you permit me, in a very, very, non-argumentative fashion, just if you look at Taco's argument, I get it, but it represents, 2-3 months out of the whole season, whereas Harper has been dominating for 5-something months. So just on a quantifiable level of your argument, he still dominated a longer period.
It's quality over quantity, though. He didn't beat anyone 50-150. He didn't break the biggest record
guys,
ever.
I'm sorry, guys. I love y'all. We got about 10 minutes left.
Thank you, Dagan.
Yes. Thank you, Dagan.
Fucking imagine! I know, Dagan. Imagine that I'm the most calm person on this show.
I know. That's what Taco does to me, man.
All right, now we've got comeback player of the year. Janine with 3 votes, Perry with 1, Barbarian with 1. I'm going to start this one because nothing against Barbarian. I wouldn't consider him in this category. I do not understand at all why Janine was picked whatsoever. I don't think she's had anything to come back from. She has been hold on, Frenchie, damn it. I see you get ready to talk. But from the start of Janine's career to now, I have seen nothing but solid progression. So I've seen no halt or stutter in that progression to show that she then picked back up to make a comeback. In my mind, Janine has been on a steady roll of rising up to the top, and I don't see anything for her to come back from. Perry, though, however, she was gone for a very long time, and not only she did pretty good in singles there, but teams especially very well. That's why I voted for Perry. But Frenchie, what are your thoughts on this one?
Look, I think if anyone would say that she had needed improvement and change and do better was Janine herself. You know, there's times that you can see she was like, I'm not doing as well as I could. I'm sorry, guys. she herself, I think, would be the first one to say, yes, I needed to improve better. And she did. She stepped up. She was the Star's main face at one point, really having the only success. And compared to last year she did okay, but it's still a very big improvement. So for me, that is a comeback. And again, I think she'd be the first person to say that she did improve. So yeah, for me, it's applicable.
Yeah, and to kind of piggyback off Frenchie, the numbers show that she wasn't going to meet Marisol. We did this like months, like a couple of weeks before her match before Marisol, and she stayed up, but she was like neck and neck all the way through. And then she was in teams. Shazam had to go perfect in order for Shazam to get the belts. To me, that screams that she has improved vastly compared to seasons prior. So that's why I voted for Janine. And Perry, if you look at how she did in teams, no, as much as I love Perry, no, she has not improved. The only reason why they made it as far into the team tournament is because of Josh Horowitz.
Yeah.
So I have to vote for Janine.
Fair. You're the numbers guy, so you'd know more about the technical end than I would. Kiwi Jess, what are your thoughts on this one?
See, I can't comment on something like this because how do I know that someone's made a comeback when I've got a very limited? So mine was the least informed decision I've made, and I'm more than happy to say I'm probably wrong because I don't know. I like people can tell me, oh, they've had a real hard year the year before and they've come back. I just picked Barbarian because I was like, he had, from what I heard, a pretty rough year last year, and I was like, he's done incredibly well to get to where he did, and that was it. That was it. It wasn't a Finstock thing. It was just because I knew a little bit of history with him more so than anyone else.
Taco.
Again, I'm not 100% on who I voted for. And
that's
all right. I don't need to. I don't feel like I need to explain why my memory isn't good. I'm a very busy person. I have a lot of life, and I did this after I sent you this after a 12-hour graveyard. I freaking worked it out on my computer and sent it to you. But,
and your dad.
Yes, and I'm glad I finally got a babysitter so I could do this show with you guys. But I want to say I might have voted for Barbarian, but I'm not 100% sure.
Well, if there was 3-1-1, then me and Frenchie chose Janine. You probably chose Janine as well.
Oh, then I must have chose Janine. Yeah, and I think that she earned it. And I don't think calling this a comeback year is downgrading how much last year she worked on and did an improvement. I think that she, built up and then built up so much. I mean, she had a run at the beginning of this year, almost took got a chance at that belt, and then she did so good in this tournament and beat freaking Merrell. This is definitely, if she keeps this momentum, she will have a belt next year, or at least play for it twice. I'd
like to point out, though, that you were going to champion Barbarian until you found out your pick was Janine.
I could champion both,
I'm just going to say that.
I know. I didn't say anything negative about Barbarian. I could champion Barbarian.
I'm just saying.
I'm glad I voted Machine, though.
Your brain went straight to Barbarian. That's all I'm saying.
No.
That's all I'm saying.
The only reason I won't vote Barbarian is because I don't think he had a bad year last year. He had one bad loss. I don't think that he had a bad year last year. I don't. Not getting a belt doesn't mean a bad year. Okay, his hype was just so big, and I don't think that he needed that to be comeback because he's always been a solid. But
all right, we got 5 minutes left in this segment here. We're going to run through these here. We got 6. Frenchie. Faction of the year. That was a landslide. We had 4 for the exchange and 1 for dungeon.
I wonder who picked Dungeon.
I'm not Taco. I know it was Taco, but I don't want him to talk
not even
about
in the faction race.
Awesome Dungeon was.
They're not even in Spectacular.
I'm sorry, guys. We got to run through these here pretty quick. I'm sorry. Upset of the year, we had Janine over Merrell with 2 votes, Paige over Bateman with 2 votes, and Demi over Alex Damon with 1 vote. Feud of the year, we had Gold Leader versus Harper with 2 votes, Chandru versus Kalinowski with 1, Shannon versus Grace with 1, and Chandru versus Swag with 1. The Chandru versus Swag was a great pick. Was not mine, was Kiwi's. I love it. And I'm changing my vote to hers officially.
That is a good
pick. That's the thing that came to my mind. That's it.
It also lasted all year. It started at the beginning of the year, and then it was the first and the last cutscene.
I don't know if it counted, but I was just like, I'm going to put it forward. I didn't know whether it had to be between 2 players, but I was like, well, he gets everyone.
I just literally thought of the first one that came. I didn't even think about Chandru and but I went with Shannon and Grace.
Something to be said about the gold leader versus Harper, because it didn't happen this year, but it was so well built up that for me it's Feud of the Year because it's the match I want to see the most next year.
Yeah, me too. Manager of the Year, we had Finstock Exchange with 3 votes, and yes, I was one of those. Although I still credit all of their success to Finstock's main faction members, Barbarian, Roka, and not Finstock himself. No offense, I just don't get it. Although I may be wrong. Kaiser had 1 vote. Koi had 1 vote. Entrance of the Year, Nooms carried in by Barbarian had 2 votes. Laura Kelly's Joker entrance had 1. And Schmo of the North there, Frenchie. Any Bibbs confetti entrance was his vote, which I find it hard to knock on that one. Heel of the Year, we had Chandru with 3 votes, Ty Lieberman with 1, and Gold Leader with 1. I like that, Dagan. The Dossier wins Faction of the Year. Is that what he said? Faction?
It's got a point.
For Babyface of the Year, we had Demi with 3 votes and Bibbs with 1 vote. That sounds about accurate to me, I think. Moment of the Year. We'll do that last because Frenchie, I think, has. Was that the one you were?
Yeah, that's the one. We got 3 minutes though.
So heel team of the year, we had Rushmore with 2, Danger Zone with 1, Corruption with 1, King Arthur with 1 vote. Babyface team of the year, Shazam with 3 votes, Press Room with 2 votes. We were unanimous on team of new team of the year or team of the year. Yes,
new team of the
year. King Arthur. Match of the year, we had I'm sorry. Andrew Demalanta versus Alex Damon with 3, Marisol versus Chance with 1, and Harper versus Demalonta with 1 vote. Now to wrap this up, a couple minutes here. Moment of the year, we had Marisol wins title had 2 votes. Alex Damon versus Andrew Demalanta had 1. Chandru kicked from Swag had 1, which that's brilliant. Marisol's reaction to defending the title against Chance had 1. And Frenchie, you were shocked when I told you that this was
how can the first colored woman champion not be the biggest moment of the year? Like, finally we have a single champion, and finally we have something else in white bread winning. It's like people, come on, this should be unanimous.
Honestly, I just went with the first thing that popped in my head. So it would help if I had a list.
This is the end of an era because Roka's going, and this is the beginning of a new era saying, like, look, girls of all ages, you can be like Marisol Mckee. This is the beginning of like, we are the world, we are the league. Yeah, shush. We are the league. It's starting now. So again, for me, this boggles my mind.
All right,
I think it would help if we had a list. I think that's really
that too. It's easier to vote at the end of the year when you actually get lists and.
And we'll talk about the official ballot and the winners and stuff too.
But I want to answer Frenchie because everything he said was right. I'm speaking specifically about the moment, and if you watch her defend against Chance, she could see his distress, and even though she just defended the singles belt, which is so fucking hard to do. She walked up and she grabbed his head and held it against her head. And you know that she's saying, "You're good, right? You're good." She took care of him before she celebrated. It was so powerful of this camaraderie between teammates. and it made my cold nihilistic freaking heart skip a beat, and I was like, oh my
God, that's massive.
Yes, and it just shows how much this game meant for her and for Chance, and also it was her defending the belt. A lot of people have won the belt. Not a lot of people have defended. Roka hasn't defended the singles belt, and Marisol has. And I think it just slightly edged it out. And also for all the reasons you said, Frenchie. All of that's true for the second moment too. But yeah, that's all I got. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for letting me talk on a show you invited me to be on to talk about. Hey, we are at 787 subs, everybody. My producer, Frenchie, just informed me. Thank you all very much. Okay, now, everybody, Frenchie, if you wouldn't mind removing everyone, we've got a special segment here. For Collision, I reached out to Adam Witt, and he and Paul Preston did a little segment for us here called Witt's Picks, where they picked their winners, and they did it again for Spectacular for us. So, everybody, let me go ahead and get this going for you. Oh, well, no. Hey, Dan, can you remove that, please? Like, from the room, the whole thing, please? All right, thank you. Here we go with Witt's Picks, everybody.
Hello! It is that time of year once again, Schmoedown Spectacular, and I have been asked by the fine folks of this show to give my predictions. But you know, it's just so much work to do this by myself, so I find this sort of thing a lot easier if I can bounce my thoughts off of someone else. So luckily, there happens to be someone else sitting right here, Paul Preston. Someone who also knows a few things about the Schmoedown and may also have thoughts about Spectacular 6. Paul?
I do, yes. I expect all these players to bring it. They don't call it the Schmoedown dull.
No, they don't. No, they don't. So what's the first match we got?
Roka versus Merrell.
Now,
if this is the last ride, you think Roka would want to go out with a surefire win against somebody like Zaflirt and Flaus, some jobber. But he's taking on Merrell. Mm-hmm. So this really is the end. It's like Clem Bevins and other fake cowboys before Roka. He'll just end up in the motion picture and television country house in Woodland Hills, California. I pick Merrell.
Yeah, you'd think he'd, like in wrestling, there was always the guys with a name and a costume, and then the guy that just had shorts. Like, you know, our Dave Johnson, you know, like the Massacre versus Dave Johnson. But no, he's taking on Merrell here. Yeah, quite a big task he's got ahead of him. And I just do not think that this one is in the books for Roka. I think for some reason Roka wanted to go out on a loss, and I admire that as a guy who's 0-6 in the Schmoedown.
Next up, we have Parker versus Kalinowski. Yes, one last ride for Kalinowski. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's Roka. But that's not how this is billed, but it should be. I go with Parker.
I think you might have that right, Paul. Kalinowski, he's you know, I looked at all the categories he's spun over the years that he's won on, and it's like DC, Batman, Marvel, DC, Batman, Lord of the Rings, DC, Batman, Marvel, Lord of the Rings. And it's like, what if he spun something else once? Like, so I'm just like, I don't know. I mean, you know, some people are saying that he's had some strokes of luck or whatever. But really, I don't want to talk about Kalinowski. Parker is destined to be a legend. Parker is the real deal. It's in his veins. I don't want to call Kalinowski one of those guys who studies cards, whereas Parker studies movies, but I do see it that way. Parker loves these movies. It's not torture for him to watch one of these super dumb movies. And you know, I mean, I talked to him on all these training things, and he's like, yeah, I just got done watching this. And I'm like, really? You just got done watching that? I mean, my God.
Bless your heart.
God bless your heart. So it's Parker all the way. And also, I got to say, you know, the Schmoedown chooses the best plot line, the best place for it to go. Would it really be a more interesting world if Alex Damon still had the belt? No. Is it going to be the most interesting ending to this season to have Kalinowski finish the season with the belt? No. Is it more interesting to have the Dungeon take the belt at the very beginning of the season, very first match, and the very last match of the season? Yeah, I think that's the more interesting plot line, and the Schmoedown decides on its own, I think, things like this. So, what's the most interesting plot line? Parker, baby.
Plus, he was a guest on Movie Nonsense, so that goes a long way with us.
Absolutely. Subscribe to Movie Nonsense on themovieguys.net on our YouTube channel. Oh, are we plugging?
The team's match is Shazam versus King Arthur. Hey, that's us. I think we all know that the Schmoedown missed an opportunity to pair Newman with Lon Harris, creating a team called Professor Griff. So I'm iffy on King Arthur. We all know the biggest enemies of Shazam, right? The 7 deadly sins. It's pride, envy, greed, hatred, selfishness, injustice, and the worst is that manic, uncontrollable, spastic energy they play with that makes them absolutely unwatchable. I go with King Arthur.
I think you mean unbeatable, but you broke up and it came through unwatchable.
No, that's what I mean.
No, never mind. Now that it did come through correct.
King Arthur.
So you're taking King Arthur over Shazam. Well, again, you know what? I'll go to my last point. The Schmoedown decides on its own. You know, you're not playing the other person. You're playing the questions and whatever questions come up is what's going to decide this. And the Schmoedown chooses the best plot line. What is the best plot line? For Shazam to keep having the belt and keep having the belt, or for this crazy circumstance of a brand new team coming out, going undefeated, and then taking it for Shazam? That's the more interesting plot line. Sorry, I love Bibbs. I love the kid, but the more interesting plot line is probably get that belt away from him, and then they got to try and get it back next season, and then that's what we want to watch next season, I think. So yeah, I'd go for King Arthur, and it's interesting, a real interesting season, like to have this and also Griffin Newman as a rookie going for the belt as well. I mean, that is the most interesting thing that can happen, and I don't know if I want it to happen necessarily, would be for Griffin to get double belted. And I should have told Kaiser about him earlier. I've been listening to that podcast for years. Anyway.
Well,
for the
speaking
draft.
of Marisol Mckee versus Griffin Newman, when Eli Manning came into the league, he dictated where he wanted to play. You can't do that. You're a rookie. You go where you go, and then you win. That's what, Michael Jordan did. So Eli Manning takes a crap on San Diego, says, I want to go to New York. And he goes to New York, and how does he get how does he get punished for being a spoiled baby? 2 Super Bowl rings. Unfair. And I think Mckee and Shane Barney did the same thing here, so I don't want them to be rewarded anymore. I go with Newman.
Oh, you go with Newman. Okay. Yeah. I think the more interesting thing is not having Newman get double belted in his rookie season. Nobody wants that. I mean, just as a general thing.
Stand by that. I get it.
It is just so great that Marisol won the belt. Nobody saw that coming. That's a great thing for the Schmoedown. The Schmoedown decides its own plot line, and I think the Schmoedown's the questions that go at her are going to want to keep her in this match. But boy, it's going to be a barn burner. And so I hope she keeps the belt. I think that's the more interesting plot line, is for Marisol to keep it next season and continue to be someone that even this Griffin Newman guy can't take down. That's the more interesting plot line.
Lastly is the Star Wars. We have Harper versus Demalonta. I mean, I don't care. Wait, no, Harper's in the den. When I'm in the den. Harper's in the den. I forgot it's been so long since I played. I forgot I am also in the den. So I'm gonna root for Harper. All he does is beat Demalontas.
Yeah. I played Harper, and I made Harper answer his 5. I think he's human after all. Nikki Demolanta has been a surprise story of this season. That came out of nowhere. We had all these stories we were going to look at this season. Everybody had their eyes on the Dungeon because we'd gotten Dan Merrell and Ben Bateman. And then all these other plot lines started coming in. And one of them is Nikki Demolanta. Nobody saw that coming. Nobody saw her rise coming. And I love how effortless and unconcerned she seems to be about this, that she really just enjoys Star Wars trivia. And Harper seems like a wreck. Like underneath that cool exterior, I could tell when people are putting on a cool exterior. Mike Kalinowski. And so I see that with Harper, that he's pretty concerned. I think he put in all the work to get that belt. He certainly hasn't slacked off, and there's no doubt that he doesn't know it. But again, the questions are going to decide. And in Star Wars, the questions can just easily one that she happens to know goes to her, and one that he happens to not know goes to him. I don't know if Nikki will win, but I would like to see Nikki win and these two duke it out all next season. Trading that belt back and forth, I think, would be amazing, because and the story people, it's the elephant in the room. The first woman Star Wars champion, that's pretty great. I think the gods of Schmoedown that decide who wins these matches, might go in that direction. We all wanted to see if Harper could get the belt. He did. And now we're done with that plot line. I mean, we really are. Like, oh, okay. Everybody wanted to see if Harper could get the belt, could take the belt from Demalonta. But nobody was like, and hold on to it forever. No, we just wanted to see if he could do that. And he did. And also the revenge aspect of Demalonta's wife.
Yeah, I mean, Andrew's somewhere got to be going, I'll get my belt back, or my wife will.
But then maybe next season he plays his wife for the belt if she gets it. So I just think the most interesting thing would be, man, if her sudden shocking rise and then she gets the belt, I'm going with Nikki. And she's great. She is great. Oh my God. I've been watching interviews with her, and she's just great. I mean, she deserves to be Mount Schmoedown level, just in terms of personality and what she knows. Wow. She's great. Yeah.
Well, we haven't agreed on much here because most of my picks, were jokes. So, but outstanding analysis by Adam Witt, and back to the show that you're here to watch.
All right, guys, that was awesome. Frenchie, I don't know about you, but I was laughing my ass off that whole time, dude.
Well, you sent me the link before, so I saw it already. I knew what was going on. But yeah, the Witt and Preston are two gems that should be immortalized forever. Yes,
for sure. And now, everybody, we've got a very, very special Frenchie's Corner. I'm not going to bring the graphic up because I'll have to take it down when we play the videos. But, I guess I did. Welcome to Frenchie's Corner. What are we doing today, Frenchie?
This is a very spectacular Frenchie's Corner. This is an idea we bounced around a long time ago, and it's been in the works for a long time, and it's finally coming to fruition. Basically, usually we'll be arguing, but this is too special just to argue, me and you. We decided to go full-on multiple factions going against each other, picking their ultimate fantasy spectacular. And we have two very special judges, who are going to say which ticket would they buy for that for those picks, and that is Frank Janish and Tim Sim. And the participating factions, well, I want to keep it a surprise. You'll see one after the other who decided to be top dogs.
Yep. And so without further ado, everyone, let me go ahead and pull up our first one here. Everybody, here we go.
Hello, it's Liam and Matt here from Euroschmo, and we are here to pitch our Dream Spectacular. Obviously, our spectacular is going to be in London because we're Euroschmo, and it's about time they crossed the channel. So Matt's going to kick us off with the IG match.
So, guys, imagine this. Mike Kalinowski is the champion the whole season. But through the whole season, he's getting mysterious messages and his apartment is destroyed. Then car case of Shannon's goes missing. His study guys is gone. He doesn't know what to think. But then, in the end, when the IG tournament is happening, some mysterious guy comes with the mask and the voice changer. And he's saying, well, I'm the person that screwed with Mike the whole season. Now I'm going to win this and go to the spectacular. That's exactly what happens. And then he takes off the masks, and we see that's Smets. He has beaten cancer, and now he's going for the belt. And we have Smets versus Mike 3 to decide who is better at inner kickdom.
Nice. And on the desk for this one, we'll have Rachel Cushing with Mara Knopic, two IG legends, and Emma Fyfe will be conducting the interviews. So great start to our spectacular. Match 2, Star Wars. Now things are going to get crazy. On stage, we have the Damons, Molly and Alex, and the Demolantas, Andrew and Nikki, talking about who is the better Star Wars couple. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, for the first time in Schmoedown history, we go into an animated world of Star Wars Rebels, where the whole Schmoedown team is transported into animation, and we have the first ever animated match. The desk will be Ken and Christian, also animated, and as they're talking in animated form, out comes Darth Maul, Sam Witwer himself, to have a fatal five-way in animated Star Wars Rebels form for the first time in Schmoedown history. And then we'll have Jen conducting the interviews through the Force at the end of the match. This is going to be crazy and exciting and a brand new era for the Schmoedown. Back into the real world we come, and then we move on to teams. Matt, what you got?
Yeah, guys. For the teams, imagine this. Shazam has cleaned out the division. Shazam is still champions the whole season. They don't have anyone to play. And they just come out at the spectacular, say, just give us the belt. We beat everyone multiple times. We are the best team ever. Then when we hear Patriots team come out, Little Evil himself and Jeff Snyder. Jeff Snyder has the microphone and he's saying, well, for this, I'm coming out of the retirement. I'm going to show you which team was best ever. And we think those two teams are going to play each other. But then we hear Shirewolf's team and came out Clark Wolf and Rachel Cushing. And they said, well, we were pretty damn good. We opened the door for all the females in the league. We don't think that this can happen without us. And then we have first triple threat teams match ever with Shirewolves, with Patriots, and with Shazam to finally crown the best team in Schmoedown ever.
Nice. And we'll have Ben Bateman and Andrew Guy on the desk for this one, with Jen conducting the interviews post-match. Now, the finale of our spectacular is going to be a massive mic drop and something never seen before in Schmoedown. So by this point, we'll know who our faction winners are, but then a big bomb is going to be dropped. And before you know it, there can only be one winner of this year's Schmoedown. It will not be a faction. It has to be one person within the faction. So for the first time in history, we have a faction civil war where the top 6 players of the faction, and that regardless of league, all come together to compete for number 1 in the Schmoedown. So you can have IG, Star Wars, singles, teams players, it doesn't matter, but your top 6 players all come together, and a combination of questions from all 4 leagues are all combined. And before you know it, 2 are knocked out round 1, 2 are knocked out round 2, and then you are left with the final 2 competing to be the ultimate Schmoedown player, and you'll have your ultimate winner of the Schmoedown of all time. We'll have Mark and Christian, the originators, on the desk, and then Emma Fife conducting the post-match interview. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our spectacular. We hope you like, and this is us from Euroschmo.
All right. I like that, man. It definitely outside of the box. And I like it because I know what Dan and I did. You can unmute yourself, Frenchie. I know what Dan and I did. I have an idea of what you did just because I'm familiar with your personality. That right there was really outside of the box, and I love it, man.
That was Schmoedown on drugs, which is awesome. Yeah. I'm a bit less behind it because for me it's two outside. I like one outside thing and then normal matches and make a storyline of it. You'll see us, we have a storyline, but it's more of a seasonal storyline. But congrats and kudos to Euroschmo to really try to bring something interesting. As I said in private comments, I don't think that probably won over Kim Sim because he seems very analytic. So I'm not sure they're winning because of that. But honestly, yeah, man, that was a good start.
Oh, I loved it, man. And I thank God you're not judging. So yeah. Everybody, we've got another one here from hold on one second. Let me remove this and bring up this. Oh shit, wrong button, Jay. I know, Frenchie, I know. And here we go, everybody, with our next dream pitch.
Buddy, Dagan and Josh here from the Let's Get Ready Network, here to talk to you about Schmoedown Spectacular 7, The Resort, emanating from the beautiful Waikiki Royal Hawaiian Theater on the beach in Honolulu, Hawaii. Awesome location for this event. Josh is going to fill you a little bit about the background and how we got here.
And if you're going to have an event, and it can be anywhere, why not choose Hawaii? But let's first talk about the storylines, because every great Schmoedown event and every great spectacular has one storyline we focus on. This one, for the whole season, Grace has been in power. And after a whole season of Grace, a whole nother season of Grace, the managers and the crew has gone on strike. So heading into the spectacular, Grace has to do everything by herself. She's carrying the wheel. She's interviewing the players. She's the interviewee and the interviewer. And we watch her struggle with that. And as for fans, it'll be fun to not only boo her as she comes on, but to see her kind of get her comeuppance. And how will the players deal with not having their managers there? Will they feel betrayed? Will any of these circumstances, them not being there, will that head into the next season? That's going to be a very fascinating thing to see how the players react in that environment.
Yeah, and because of the situation, we have Mark Ellis as kind of the last one standing of the old regime, and Andrew Guy is there because that's kind of all they have left. Christian is off, retired on the beach somewhere, and we have these two guys to announce what is still going to be a very, very good lineup of matches here. We have it kicking off the event. It's Danger Zone taking on Shazam. As we saw, Ben Bateman sort of took some time off to get his music career going a bit and recover from his surgery, but he got that itch. He's back at it here. Danger Zone is reunited. They won the teams tournament, and they're going to be facing Shazam in what should be an absolute dream match. And then next we have a really exciting first-time ever scenario, a triple threat Iron Jedi match for the Star Wars title with Thomas Harper taking on Andrew Demolanta, taking on Nikki Demolanta. So it should be a very interesting dynamic there to see how those two, if they work together. It is everyone for themselves here in this Iron Man rule. So, man, some really exciting stuff in the first part of the card. And then we have our co-main event.
Absolutely. And in the co-main event, we on the first match, we have a match everyone wants to see. Every Schmoedown fan wanted to see. It's Rachel Cushing versus Kevin Smet's title match. Cushing is the defending champ, and we're going to see either Rachel Cushing for the first time defend an IG title, or for the first time since Kevin Smet's unretired, to see him win back that IG belt. And you just want to be in the crowd that moment. Kevin Smet's possibly, after this long journey in his personal battle, overcomes it and wins that IG belt. As any Schmoedown fan knows, they just want to be there and celebrate with Smets and just be there in that moment live. Or to see Cushing's more dominance to get that IG defense and maybe even make a claim for the GOAT. I mean, we both love Cushing and Smets. Everyone loves those players, and it's going to be really exciting to see them in a title match. Ever since we saw Smets debut, we wanted to see him face Rachel Cushing. We've been saying that all these years, and now we finally might get it. And then for the main event, if we're going to have it in Hawaii, we have to give Paul Oyama the home field advantage. Absolutely. So our singles title match is Marisol Mckee versus Paul Oyama. Both players have a lot going into this event. Marisol wants to avenge her first ever loss was to Paul Oyama, and she might want to avenge that. Well, Oyama, last time we saw him at Spectacular, he lost to Ben Bateman in an embarrassing fashion. To see either of these players come back from the losses from their past and to kind of build this new rivalry between the two is going to be so fascinating and interesting. I'm very excited for it.
Yeah, this is an insane card. A lot of dream matches here. And what a location to emanate from. Hawaii, on the beach. Can you even imagine what that after party is going to be?
You're muted, Jay.
Sorry about that. I don't know if it cut off at the very end, but we did get their full card.
We don't have much time to talk about it right now, but we'll talk about it later. But two things I want to address is I love the location and I love the name, the resort, and I'm sold on the Star Wars match.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Star Wars match was a hell of a good idea. The triple threat Iron Man match, fuck yeah.
Yep, not too shabby. We've got our next one here is I'll just tell you, this is from Dan and I. I'll just go ahead and tell you. This is Speaking of Schmoedown's pitch. right here, everybody. Double D here from Speaking of Schmoedown to give you our dream pitch for spectacular location, first and foremost. That is very important. The Red Rocks Amphitheater. Imagine, ladies and gentlemen, you arrive to the match to this beautiful site because you are there early to get the best seats in the house. As we start to progress into the night, the matches get intense. The show starts to get riled up. The sun starts to go down even more. What a beautiful sky. The mountains in the background. The crowd is packed into the house. Look at those rocks. By the time we get to the main event, it is in full swing, everybody. That is our location, the Red Rocks Amphitheater in Colorado. To call this match, we have two great legends on the desk. We've got Brad Gilmore and Andrew Guy. I don't think that we could come up with a better duo for this dream event that we've cooked up here. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about this event?
We have, for the person who's going to do the post-match interview, we all love Jen Sturger, but we decided to call on a fan favorite, the wild man, Josh Mckee. I mean, he's going to come back. He's going to do the post interview, and he's going to rock it like the days of old. Special guest, the person who is going to be taking the wheel on and off the stage is Bo-Katan herself, Katie Sackhoff. Jay, why don't you tell us what are going to be the first two matches of the evening?
Well, speaking of Bo-Katan, we're going to start our event off with the Star Wars title match. This is a special one, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Witwer comes out of retirement wanting his belt back because he never officially lost it. It was handed essentially to Alex Damon, and he wants it back. There is a twist here. This match will be an Iron Man match. After that, we got the Inner Geekdom match. Rachel Cushing versus Mike Kalinowski. We're going to have this repeat of this match and see if Rachel Cushing can walk away with the title this time. But that's not the end of the night, everyone. Dan has got the final two matches for you.
So we're going to do a little bit different because usually the singles match is the last night match of the evening. But we're going to do the singles match to the second to last. For the singles belt, we got Clark Wolf versus Janine the Machine. I mean, could you imagine these two legends of the game, these two wonderful women battling for the singles belt? I think the crowd would just go completely wild. I know you are going to get completely wild as I'm saying this. For the main event, the team's belt, is going to be a triple threat between Shire Wolves, King Arthur, and the fan favorite, the Looney Bin. I mean, potentially, we could have Rachel Cushing and Clark Wolf double belted by the end of the night. I couldn't imagine a better ending to this event.
Hell yeah, and that is our Dream Spectacular pitch. We hope you guys enjoy what we laid out here for you, and we'll see how it goes. See if a ticket is bought to our event or not. Thank y'all very much. All right.
I'll be straight and harsh and also complimentary at the same time. I am not on board of any of your matches except the last one.
That's okay. I've not heard yours, and I don't give a shit about your event at all. So it's fine, dude. I don't care what you think about.
I love your last match. For me, your last match is a reason alone to buy a ticket. The venue, fuck yeah, but as Dagan said, is this a Sting cheese string concert or is this a Schmoedown event?
I think that was a Dead concert from a Dead concert, technically. I think. Dagan might know more than me. Hey, dude, who cares, man? Hey, man.
But location, what if it rains? What if it rains? That's the only thing.
So what? So
right,
what? Imagine watching those matches in the rain, baby. Be awesome. Okay, and now everybody, let's go on to our next one here. We got two more entries in this. Here we go.
There, this is Frenchie, and I got
soda
from Schmoes of the North. Us, it's pretty simple. When we heard fantasy spectacular, we had one idea in the head, and that was season 9. the Journey of Champions. For us, Harloff decided to clean the whole whiteboard and restart the champion. The whole season is a journey to get to the championship determined at Spectacular. The number 1 and number 2 contenders face off to see who finally is the champion. On the desk is the wits of Knapsack and Guy. Our location, we had to go to Boston. And if in Boston, go Detroit. If in Boston, we gotta have our interviewer, Paige the Boston Badass for Brady. On the wheel presenting for every match, pretty simple. We got Drew doing a costume change for every division title match and also calls the wheel Tom.
And our very first match that we have opening up the card is a redemption match of sorts. We're going to have the light side versus the dark side. We're going to have the Jedi versus the Sith. We're going to have Andreas Ace Cabrera versus Laura Lights Out Kelly from Corruption.
Yeah. And for teams, we wanted to really love teams, 2 incredible teams we haven't seen in a long time and wanted to see at least one last time face off, and that is simply Above the Line versus Wolves of Steel.
Ooh.
And to follow that, though, we wanted the knockout. We wanted 2 heels that can completely different heels, but can still talk the talk, but play the game like we've never seen it before, and maybe go to overtime. And I'm talking about Ben Bateman full heel versus Griffin Newman.
And for the main event, we have one of the very few matches that, in my opinion, could surpass a singles title match for main event of Spectacular. And it is for the Inner Geekdom Championship. It is a 3-way match. The story going into it was originally Mara Knopic and Rachel the Crusher Cushing, the number 1 and the number 2 contenders, were going to face off in Boston for the Inner Geekdom Championship. But then out of nowhere, Kevin the Smasher Smets comes back and cashes in his championship rematch that he never got. So the main event, triple threat match for the Inner Geekdom Championship, Kevin the Smasher Smets versus Rachel the Crusher Cushing versus the Brown Door star Mara Knopic.
So here you have it. It's simple. We have the redemption story everyone wants and needs to see. We have 2 teams, heavyweights, so we haven't seen in a while, and we need to see. We have 2 heels that will surpass everything we've ever seen. Smack talk and gameplay we have to see. And we got an IG title we've never got, but we need to see. So that's our fantasy spectacular. Hope you enjoyed it.
All right. I will say one thing about your pitch there, Frenchie. It wasn't bad, dude. It was better than I thought it was going to be.
You underestimate me. And again, our whole concept is there is no champion through the whole season except for Spectacular. That's why it's called the Journey of Champions. Is one straight journey to find the ultimate champion that can surpass everyone. And I saw your reaction on Wolves of Steel versus Above the Line, and I saw your reaction on our Triple Threat IG match. I think we got in this bag, but that's just me.
Yeah, good thing neither one of us are the judges, I say once again. We have one more entry here. This is our wild card entry from Luke from Galaxy Geeks. He was joined by our Kiwi, who is here on the screen with us right now. Let's check out their pitch. And then after that, we have our 2 judges' videos, and we'll find out which dream events they will be going to.
Welcome to the Galaxy Geeks channel. We are pitching the Ultimate Spectacular. So, the only person I could do this with was the amazing, wonderful Kiwi Jess.
Hi, I'm so excited. It's everyone's dream to pitch their own, perfect spectacular. So, I'm so glad to be here doing this.
Oh, me too. So, let's go ahead and start out. Who you got on the desk for this match?
You got to go with the kingpin of Schmoedown, Christian Harloff. The guy's been there from day one. He's got to be there for this spectacular. I mean, who else would it be? I'm wondering, though, who would be good with him.
Ooh, I think for someone good with him would be Kevin Smith. Someone who could bring the comedy, someone who can work off of Christian. I mean, it would be incredible.
You've got to have someone to do post-match interviews, though, right? I mean, got any ideas for that?
Well, I mean, the only person I can think of is Jennifer Sturger. She's incredible. She knows how to do it.
She's a legend. She's a legend. We couldn't do this without her. I imagine we're going to have some wheel rounds in this thing. Got any ideas on who we should do for, taking the wheel on and off?
We got to go Makuga. Makuga would bring the laugh. He would bring a lot of light and levity to this. This would be incredible.
I mean, he's also been in the Schmoedown long, long ago as well. So it'd be nice to marry up that old with the new.
Speaking of old with the new, we got to pick our Star Wars match.
Oh, I mean, I can't think of anything better than to kick this off with the Star Wars match. We have the rookie sensation, Thomas Harper. Now, I imagine it'd be pretty hard as someone who really loves Star Wars to go against someone you idolize. So how about we have him face off against Sam Witwer?
Ooh, that would be a match. Having someone who has to go against someone who he's idolized, who he looks up to, and trying to beat him because he's a robot. He is literally a robot.
He is. And the promos these two would do against each other, especially given, both of their histories, I think it'd be quite a match.
Well, speaking of quite a match, where are you thinking on our interdictum?
You know what? I think we need a good redemption arc for this spectacular. I do. I think, when I think redemption and who really needs it the most, you can't go past Kevin Smets. I mean, especially after the last year he had and smashing cancer, he deserves this match. Absolutely.
Well, someone else who I think deserves it just as much is Mara. Mara.
Right.
Mara should have been in the tournament, but she wasn't. And so being able to see Mara return to go against Smets, their first match together and their friendship, it'd be incredible.
It'd be electric. I'm thinking, we need a teams match in there. How about Shazam?
Well, if you're going Shazam, I got to pick Sharewolves.
Can you imagine the entrance that the kid and Bibbs are going to do for this spectacular? That's one of the things I look forward to in their matches.
And think of how wild the crowd would be seeing the Sharewolves come in.
Oh, for sure.
So if we've got this big of a crowd, where are we going to sit them?
You know what? I like the Globe Theatre. It's been, something that we've had Schmoedown at before. I think why not continue the tradition?
Yeah, I agree. But what is going to be our massive big match, the singles championship?
You know what? I'm a fan of rookies. And you know who my favorite rookie right now is? Griffin Newman. The man is unstoppable. He's unstoppable in teams. He's unstoppable in singles. I want to see who can go toe-to-toe with this guy.
Well, I know someone who can, and that's got to be Dangerous Dan Merrell. He has tested his mettle. He knows exactly how to handle it. I got to go with Dan.
You know, I think we might have a spectacular.
You're still muted, Jay.
Sorry. It's my tech stuff, man. I can't seem to fix my StreamYard and Rodecaster Pro issues here.
I have to say right off the bat, I like what they did. They went some classic, some old. Kiwi, you did a good job. And Galaxy Geek, you did a good job. Again, I'm surprised Kiwi's new at this. She knows what she's saying and doing. So look, you're making Schmoes the North proud, Kiwi. We love you.
Yeah. Now, everybody, it is time for our two judge videos. Frank Janish and Tim Sim have both sent me videos after watching these pitches. No one, I'm not even myself. Watching these pitches now was my first time watching them. I don't know what the judges have to say. So I'm looking forward to finding out myself. We will start with Tim Sim. Let's see what he thinks.
Hello, y'all. This is Tim Sim from The Insight. About to now do my official results for who would I pay to get a ticket for one of these 5 amazing spectacular cards. I mean, all of them are really amazing, no doubt, and some really out there, especially with those doing venues outside of Los Angeles. And I mean, especially one like the Euro Schmo, which is holding it in London, England. That's a venue which I would hope to one day see the Schmoedown go to. But, I mean, if there's something about me when it comes to Spectacular, I mean, I'm kind of an old school competitor since following this game back in 2014, its origins itself. And if there's one thing I want to see is I want to see a singles title match, a team's title match, a Star Wars title match, and an Inter-Kingdom title match at the event. And with that in mind, I would unfortunately have to disqualify the Euro Schmo because only 3 of those 4 belts will be defended. And the main event, the Faction Champion Civil War, I mean, there is no mention of a singles championship being defended. And I don't know, I mean, it's a great event, but I wouldn't call it a spectacular event. And unfortunately, I would have to disqualify what Euro Schmoes have put forth, leaving Let's Get Ready, Speaking of Schmoedown, Exposure North, and Galaxy Geeks. I mean, Galaxy Geeks, I mean, it's a really good card, but I mean, probably not as out there as like the other 3, which would really entice me the most. But it's really fun, and I would like to see it one day, but probably not. I would pay a ticket for, unfortunately, for what Galaxy Geeks brought out. Leaving Let's Get Ready, Speaking of Schmoedown, and Schmoes of the North. Now, Let's Get Ready. I mean, it's a really amazing venue, Honolulu, Hawaii, with these matchups that they brought out. I mean, Cushing versus Smith. I mean, that's a dream matchup everyone wanted when Cushing was playing, and alongside with Smith as well. And of course, Mckee versus Oyama. I mean, Mckee trying to redeem her only loss, and that's going to be, well, assuming she defends the belt, but that's something I would really like to see. But I mean, the storyline of Grace Hancock doing it all by herself with Mark Ellis and Andrew Guy helping out, I mean, that's a weird storyline to try to do, and I don't know, I would probably find it uncomfortable to see as an audience member, unfortunately, but I don't know. But so unfortunately, it will not be them. Leaving Speaking of Schmoedown and Exposure to the North. Now, both of them, I mean, really exciting cards and exciting venues. I mean, Boston, Massachusetts for Exposure to the North, assuming it'll be at the TD Garden or I don't know, somewhere historic in Boston. And I really like what they brought out with who will be on the desk and those matches. I mean, Above the Line versus Wolves of Steel being one of the 2 favorite teams of mine in the Schmoedown, the other being the Shire Wolves. And of course, some hot matches like Bateman versus Nooms and the main event of Kalinowski versus Cushing versus Mets. That's an exciting match to see. And for what Speaking of Schmoedown brought, I mean, there's some amazing dream matches. I mean, Damon versus Whitworth in an Iron Man Star Wars match. Kalinowski versus Cushing 4. I mean, Wolf versus Janine. And the Shire Wolves versus Keon versus Looney Bin. I mean, honestly, if I would have to pay a ticket to see a spectacular match, it would have to be the dream spectacular event that Speaking of Schmoedown has brought, because these are like amazing matches that I really like to see, especially as a longtime viewer of this sport. And of course, I mean, I haven't been to Colorado yet in my lifetime, and I would really like to have my first visit to Colorado be there at the Red Rock Amphitheater, which is a gorgeous event that they've described, or a gorgeous venue that they described. And yeah, I mean, it's really, what they brought was excellent for this Dream Spectacular. And yeah, that's what I would pay my ticket for. The one.
So close,
man.
But the fact that we're final 2 in his list, that was amazing. That was close. But congrats to you on at least his pick. Still disagree, but
Hey, man, there's still one more. There's still one more here. So any of us could get Frank Janish's vote here. So let's go ahead and see what Frankie Numbers has to say. And who knows? Let's see what happens, guys.
All right, looking at all the proposals here from Euroschmo, Let's Get Ready, Speaking of Schmoedown, Schmoes of the North, and Galaxy Geeks. A lot of thought put into these, a lot of great ideas and storylines, people at the desk, people doing the post-match interviews, bring out the wheel, all of that. Euroschmo, really interesting idea. They had an animated Star Wars match. Not really keen on that for a live event, but they did have a great teams triple threat between Shazam, Patriots, and Shire Wolves. I like that idea a lot. Their singles championship idea, very interesting. Take the top 6 players from the winning faction. I think I might have a better idea where I would land on that if I knew exactly who was playing for it. But nonetheless, interesting ideas. Also, Kalinowski's Mets 3 would be an incredible match. Let's Get Ready. Setting it in Hawaii. That's a great move. Your team's match is Danger Zone and Shazam. Legendary players in that matchup. An Iron Man Star Wars match for the title. Harper versus Nikki and Andrew Demolanta. I like the Iron Man idea, triple threat. I think having both Demolantas versus Harper is an interesting move. For IG, Cushing versus Smith, that's just a great legendary match. And then you have Oyama and Marisol for the singles, which I think would be a great match as well. Speaking of Schmoedown, setting is at the Red Rocks. That's a phenomenal venue. Another Iron Man match between Sam Witwer and Alex Damon there. I think Damon would wipe the floor with him. IG Cushing versus Kalinowski, something we've seen before, but I think would be a great match. Singles Wolf versus Janine. That's just another feel-good match. It would be hard to root against anyone. And then their teams match, very interesting idea with Shirewolves taking on King Arthur and Looney Bin. I think there would be a lot of theatrics there. I think that's might probably be my most anticipated match for that card. And then Schmoes in the North, setting it in Boston. I like it, East Coast. That's pretty cool. But then we have in Star Wars, Ace versus Laura Kelly. That's a match we've seen before, but could it go the other way for Laura Kelly that time? Teams, we have Above the Line versus Wolves of Steel. That's something we've seen before in a previous tournament match. Singles, Bateman versus Newman. Very intriguing matchup. I think I like this one a lot. And then IG have a triple threat between Mark Anopic, Rachel Cushing, and Kevin Smets. Three beloved players. But I do think that singles matchup, Bateman and Newman, would be really, really interesting. And I would also be very curious about that IG match setup. And then Galaxy Geeks, they have setting it at the Globe, which I like. I like that venue. It's kind of like a Schmoedown home of sorts. We did free-for-all there. We're doing Spectacular Now there. They have for their Star Wars match, Harper versus Witwer. I don't get the fascination with Witwer. I mean I do, but like the guy's gonna get creamed. But that's okay. That's okay. IG Smets versus Kanopic. That'd be a great match to watch. That's something we've never seen. Teams, Shazam versus Shirewolves. Two beloved teams. Legendary teams. Very intrigued by that matchup. And then singles, you have Griffin Newman versus Dan Merrell. I love this matchup a lot. Dan Merrell is a legend. Griffin Newman, remains to be seen, but he's on a hell of a path right now. And I gotta say, of all five of these, the one I'd buy a ticket for, I go Galaxy Geeks. I think Griffin Newman and Dan Merrell would be a fantastic match. Newman is great character work. Shazam, Shirewolves, just legendary teams. Be a lot of fun to watch. Smets Kanopic, how could you not? And then Harper Witwer as a nice thing as a warm-up would be great. And that's a lot of fun. And at the Globe, when you have Jen Sturger doing the post-match interviews, Josh McCouga with the wheel, I like that idea a lot with Christian Harloff and Kevin Smith at the desk. A lot of good energy there with that crew you have going on. But that's what I'd pick. That's the ticket I'd buy, Galaxy Geeks. Great job.
All right.
Damn it. All right. So it's technically a tie in a sense, but I think I pulled more the heartstrings of Tim Sims, which I'm proud of because I respect a lot what Timson says and likes or not. Janice, boo, you suck now. But I get why he didn't pick us for like a bit what we already seen, but it's something I want to re-see because it's been a long time. But I get where he's going at. I don't agree, but I get where he's going at.
Yep. That was good. Why don't you bring everybody else back up real quick? We've only got 10 minutes till Spectacular starts, so we're not gonna get
Tim Sim denied Frank Janish. Okay, what are we doing?
We're not gonna talk about it like I thought we were. We went a little bit over on time because I do want to allow everyone watching and listening to have time to chill out and get their stuff ready before Spectacular actually starts. Real quick thoughts though, Frenchie, your overall thoughts on all those pitches. What do you think?
Yeah, amazing. Congrats, Kiwi. Again, you're doing a phenomenal job and repping us.
I'm so happy. Should have seen my
bringing,
celebration in the back room. It was great.
And congrats to Galaxy Geek. Again, like the wild card matchup. Jay, wait, what were you thinking? We lost. Well, I lost because of them, so fuck it, man. But yeah, no, good job, guys.
Don't discount the wild cards.
Overall, I loved it. Again, this Euroschmoes, I think they went too over the top. I congratulate them for going, but I was questioning myself if they took drugs while doing it. So,
oh my gosh.
But it's still an interesting pitch. I want to do this every Spectacular, man. I want to really do this because it really shows the diversity of opinions.
It's great.
Yeah, I'm in. I think we will do it again next year. Double D, what do you think overall of all these?
I love that Frank chose my idea for the team's triple match, the one that he's most anticipated, because I was going with like Jay, like, what about Looney Bin as the triple threat? He's like, oh, that would be awesome. And I'm like, we have to do it. Looney Bin. Because originally we were supposed to pitch Team Schmoes, but I'm like, they're going to get clobbered. With Looney Bin, you can kind of see that they might put up a fight, but people, even if they lose, people are still going to be happy to see them together.
Okay, Dagan.
I love Dagan so much. I love Dagan so much.
Oh, he's great. He's so good.
But Kiwi, I think your pitches were great. You and Luke.
Yeah.
I think Galaxy Geeks totally carried me in there, but I'm taking the win no matter what.
Oh yeah.
We're happy to be carried to the win.
Taco, give a real quick 30-second thoughts on all this.
Especially it was supposed to be me and you doing it. So
I know it was supposed to be me and you, and I actually really liked our idea, but I double booked myself. I had other things to do that night, and I loved everyone's pitch, and it's actually so hard to choose, so I'm not going to. So I do want to get a founder's fee for finding Kiwi and bringing her into this. Everyone keeps saying how amazing she's doing. Can I get like at least 5%? Because I run her in.
You have your founder's fee, and that's called you having your own show on the channel. So,
all right. Actually, I think Galaxy Geeks was really good, but I have to give it to Red Rocks, dude. That venue. Thinking of seeing all those matches, especially like Clark Will finally getting your singles match with that amazing sunset behind and all that. Like, I would love it. I've seen two concerts at Red Rocks.
Yeah, no rain as it's in the desert. Kiwi, you want to wrap it up here with your final thoughts on this, and then we're going to let everybody get ready for Spectacular.
I'm so excited for Spectacular. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just super excited to have my first ever Spectacular. I'm just happy.
And guys, I am not going to ramble on or do my normal thing at all. I'm going to get off of here really, really quick because, like I said, Spectacular starts in just about 9 minutes. Want you all to be able to relax. Thank you so much for joining us here this week on Speaking of Schmoedown. We'll be back next week, and we'll be talking about what happens today. Everyone, have a great and safe week until we talk to you next week.
Bonsoir.
You want to hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.